Welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Brickland Building a Lego City, and I want to thank you for coming today. Last video was all about showing off the space here in the garage, but today I'm going to talk about building the city, and specifically how we're using, to start, one Ikea Linman table. I think that's how you pronounce it, Linman. Anyway, it's about 2 feet by 4 feet long, and that's just big enough to put one decent sized oval train layout on it. And we'll talk about that in a second, but this is the beginning of my holiday display, and I've got a bunch of sets here from previous years, like the holiday train, the carousel, the gingerbread house, and Santa's workshop, I believe. I've got that assembled in 2 parts. And then, well, we're building a mock here as well, and I want it to be a lot more custom than just sets. So while I have the holiday sets up now, those are going to go away and be replaced by all brick built stuff, like this mock, a little farmhouse that we started with. And that actually resembles the house that we live in, which is kind of cool. But a couple things to keep in mind when you're doing these builds, and it takes a little bit of planning. And the planning isn't for why you think it is. The planning is for a different reason. And basically it comes down to the train tracks. The train is divided, the tracks are in such a way that you have 2 sections, one here and one here, 2 sections of track that covers 32 squares, 16 and 16. And the whole thing is based on a grid, so that the curves, 4 curve pieces, goes over a 64 by 64 base plate. And you have to kind of follow the geometry of the track to make it work, so you can extend it and not run into problems with layouts and things like that later on. Obviously now I've got all the buildings just kind of put on here loosely. They're not attached by anything right now. They're just sitting on the studs. But eventually they will be part of the grid system. And to have the train track, in a way that that makes it easy to do, well, that takes all the effort out of it. It makes it really easy to do. At the same time, I think a lot of mock building is important to have more organic shapes. Lego is, very bricky, very blocky. 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 4 bricks. And so everything kind of ends up very square. And to make it more organic, it's important to use more angles and slopes and curved pieces and more organic stuff, like this beginnings of this stream that we have here. Basically, this is put together with 1 by 2 trans blue tiles, and they're about 4 or 5 bricks wide. Sometimes they're 3, sometimes they're 6, but they kind of just meanders around. And you can see how it curves, and then I have a little bridge here that we're working on, going over the river, and then lots of greenery to make the bed of the river more soft, I think is a good way of putting it. We use some gray bricks as stones to raise it up, some brown bricks to signify earth, and then a bunch of different plant pieces. And I try to keep the plant pieces similar so it maintains a similar kind of feel for the area. I also like to put in lots of little Easter eggs, like at the base of the bridge you can see these are brick mortar style 1 by 2 bricks. So it looks like a foundation. A little fishing pole here, like somebody's fishing, of course. Remnants of a little table, and then of course a treasure chest back here that somebody might stumble upon something and see that open. But the river will eventually go to a mountain range back here, and there'll be a waterfall coming down with splashes to make that. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to put on the island over here yet. We'll figure something out. Maybe it'll just be a big mountain range here, and I'll have maybe like a ski slope or a tram or something. But that's kind of the idea for this section. Coming back to the village, this is going to have, over the next few days, I'm going to put a central square in here with some ice skating rinks. I want other things for the area to come in, like a wishing well, maybe a little market of Christmas market kind of thing, and then fill out with more mock buildings and a couple of the newer Christmas sets. This is probably one of my favorite ones. This is the carousel from I think 4 or 5 years ago. And I don't remember the set number, but you can look it up. And it can be motorized, so we're going to do that as well. Let me show you exactly how that works. Back here we have a little handle, and we turn the handle, the carousel goes up and down, and around and around. And you can even see that the horses, the white horses on it, move up and down. I don't know if you can see that or not. There it goes. There's a little cam in there that causes that. And inside there's actually a game where you're supposed to be able to throw things and hit these little red cups and win prizes. So I'll stick a motor back here. You can put a Power Functions motor back here and automate the whole thing. And then the mock we have of the building has a little front porch, little railing, a little fence underneath so the critters don't get under there. There's a front door and a couple of windows. This is a 16 wide mock. That's kind of the general scale that I use, 16 or so studs. Makes it easy to plan for things. Then of course the gingerbread house here is an official Lego set, and you can see the Mr. and Mrs. Gingerbread here. She has a bottle because at the back of the house, if I can get back there, it's all built out, and there is a little bassinet with a baby. I don't know if you can see, it's a 1x2 brick baby gingerbread man. You can see the snow on the roofs, candy cane decorations, the picnic table with the snow. I love the little home sweet home detail on it. And of course some Christmas trees. But over time, we're going to build more tables out here because I have lots and lots of space. So there'll be more tables coming out this way. The tracks will extend and we'll make a much bigger loop and even have some switchbacks on it eventually. We've got room in this to put about, probably 15 of these tables all along this wall here. So it's going to be a very large layout when we get all done. And it's going to have lots of angles and cool things. The train, talk about that for a second, it's got a Power Functions motor on it. And that's actually remote controlled by this, which is a Power Functions controller. This is more of the Bluetooth style, and this is more of the older style, which is IR. And basically you have a little dial here that when you turn the dial, it speeds up or slows the train down. We'll do it this way. Speed it up. Or slow it down. Or you can go backwards if you want. There we go. Go back to forwards. I like a nice, easy, slow-going train. But the train has 4 cars, a locomotive, a tender. I've got the caboose in the middle, and then the flatbed car with the Christmas tree. Another cool feature is that the Christmas tree goes around and around as the train goes down the tracks. You can see it spinning there, which I think is really cool. There's a cam and a gear underneath it. But basically, that's the city. I want to thank you for watching, and come back in a few days when I have a new addition to the city, and you can see how it grows. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.